Hi everybody, today's video is sponsored by bbcrafts.com. bbcrafts.com is an online jewelry craft supply store, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you a tutorial using products that you might have seen in my last video of BB Crafts unboxing and product review. And in this video, the tutorial, I will be doing a pair of earrings, chandelier earrings, using one of the set of the chandelier earrings from bbcrafts.com. And these particular ones are the Dreamcatcher earrings, also using the gemstones from BB Crafts and the leaf charms as well. So what I'm using in this video today from this 90-piece set that I had gotten and I went over in the product review, the unboxing and product review video. And the chandelier kit, it's a 90-piece set. It comes in a nice case like this. And the other items I used for this, and the gemstones, and I used the amethyst ones. As you can see, it comes in different colors of gemstones, and they are sectioned off in little sections, and they open individual like so. I also used the seed beads, and it came in a jar like this. I have the lid off because I put some in here, but these are glass seed beads that I also got from bbcrafts.com. And the jump rings are optional, but I got this set. It's also in a nice hard carrying case with different sections for different sizes, and they open individually as well. Another thing I got from bbcrafts.com that I used in this project are the silver leaf charms. Also, in the description box below this video, there will be links to the bbcrafts.com website, as well as the links to all the products that I'm using in this particular craft tutorial. Okay, the other items that I'm using here are wire. Now, I had to use 20 gauge. I got this wire from bbcrafts.com. It was a 10-piece set of multicolor wire, but it was 18 gauge. I will insert the picture here just so you can see it. And even though I didn't use this because it was 18 gauge and the gemstones holes are very tiny, so I had to use a finer gauge of wire. So I had to use what I had, which is a 20 gauge. So keep in mind when you're ordering wire to get certain gauges, because these gemstones have very, very fine, tiny holes. Seed beads from the glass seed beads that I got from BB Crafts. You're going to also need some jewelry tools. Now, these are mine that I had. These aren't from BB Crafts, but this is just a cheap set. What you're going to need is a cutter, a round nose, and a flat nose for this particular project. So I'm going to bring this closer so you can get a good look. Okay, so what I did on this particular project was I used some wire, and I added some of the seed beads and some more of the gemstones, and then I added also the fish hooks, and I also added the charms at the bottom. Now, you can use jump rings, that's an option, but what I did was I simply affixed the wire and made a loop and put them in there. And I'm going to show you how to do this in this step-by-step tutorial by making another pair but using a different color gemstone. It's the same earring but using different colors. So let's get started with the tutorial. Okay, so the first thing I'm doing is taking out a pair of the chandelier earrings, Dreamcatcher ones. And as you see, they have one hook for the fish hook for the earring that goes in your ear, and 3 loop hooks in the bottom. In this particular one, what you're going to need to do is you get these out Get your charms ready, because if you want to hang leaves out like the other ones on the bottom, now I'm going to do a little bit different. Now I've gone ahead and got the particular material that I will need for this project. It's going to be similar to the purple amethyst gemstone one, but just slightly different because I don't have the same amount of leaves. I only have one more of the little ones. So what you're going to do, now you can attach the fish hook first. Now you could just have this without any beads, but I like the way that looks. So what you're going to take is a piece of wire and your round nose pliers. And you're going to take your wire and then you're going to make a little hook at the end, a loop, and you just simply go like that and turn and turn. And you want to make it big enough so that you can fit it through over here. Now you can wait before you hook it up, or you can go ahead and do it and work from there. But I'm just going to leave that like that so that the beads don't fall through. And I'll open it up later. So go ahead, make your bead, make your loop at the end. You could straighten it out a little like that. Or you can buy one of those eye pins that already look like this and then trim them to your liking. Now I don't want this terribly long. So what I'm going to do is just put a seed bead, a gemstone, and a seed bead. So now I'm using the turquoise gemstones. And the holes on this are a little larger. Like I said, you might be able to use an 18 gauge with some of these gemstones, but it's good to have a 20 gauge next to you as well. So have, either one. And I'm going to be using the silver color for today. So let's go ahead and get started. So now I'm going to look for a seed bead that I want. Now I probably might use white because I already have the blue. And if you want to add a pop of color, you can add red or even yellow. And that's what it would look like. And then I'm going to put another really tiny piece of the gemstone and fit it through. So that's what you're going to get, and now you top it off with another seed bead. So I'm going to pick through my seed beads, making sure I get the blue color. So make sure you have good lighting. My light isn't that great right now until I get better lighting. So that's what it's going to look like. Okay. Now what you want to do is see your ratio here between hooking, you making a hook. Now you could use jump rings right here, make a hook with the wire, put a jump ring and then attach it, but that'll just make it longer. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it, take my cutter pliers and just leave a little room right here to make my loop so I can hook it. It's going to look like. Alright, now I'm going to cut it, not too, I have to leave some room to make another hook, a loop. So we're going to take our cutter pliers. It's really hard because I have the camera beside me, not in front of me. So see, just enough room to hook it. Anyway, alright, so it'll look something like this, okay? And you're going to have a little itty bit over there. So now you can take your round nose pliers and you're going to make a loop. And then now you could either at this point add your fish hook, but what you want to do is you want to make sure that it's turned this way, the opposite way, because your fish hook is going to go that way in your ear. Leave a little room, and then maybe, now you can open your earring piece, or you can just take this opportunity to loop it in there, and then go ahead and close that. Make sure your seed bead's out of the way. This will be a little difficult because it's going to be, you're working with a smaller section here. And then it'll look something like this. Okay? Now, before we attach it, let's do the next one. I went ahead and did that again, and I want it to be the same length. So I'm going to cut again right above this part, make my loop, and then hook my fish hook to it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've gone ahead and attached the top pieces to that with the other hook on the bottom, and see how they're the same length. Okay, so now after you did this piece, the next thing is you're going to want to see how your middle one is going to be positioned. Okay, so now this leaf will be different than these because I have different sizes and stuff here, different sizes and shapes. These are good size. They're about a good 3 inches from top to bottom. And you want to make sure you're looking at the back. The back has a vein. If you get this particular set of charms, okay, and the link will be below this video in the description box for this and all these products that I'm using, okay? So now what you want to do is you want to make sure, okay, that you've got them both facing forward. And kind of see how you want them to hang, whether you want a really long pair or not. Because you can just do the leaf like that and then beads on the side, or one bead and then, or one gemstone and then your other one. So I think I'm just going to do a really tiny piece. So you're going to get a piece of wire, okay, straighten it out and kind of cut it in the middle. We're not going to use the whole piece, but at least we'll have it. So we're going to go do that, and then when you have it all set and ready, let's go ahead and go pick out a gemstone. Now I want a decent size gemstone. I don't need it to be too big, but I want it to be noticeable, and I want to pick out 2 that look similar for each one. So I found 2 that look similar. A hook, 2 seed beads, and a gemstone in the middle. I made a hook, I put a seed bead, then 1 piece of gemstone, then another seed bead, and I'm going to use a jump ring so that the leaf dangles more. Like I said, that's optional. You could just hook it on the hook, but I'm going to use a jump ring. Now your seed beads might fall, but you could fix that. Now I'm going to attach the leaf to the jump ring. So I added a jump ring to this to make it more dangly, because if you did just the hook like I did on these, they may or may not dangle, you know, like go back and forth like the way you'd like it to. It depends, it's your preference. I decided for this particular one, because it's a heavier one and it's going to swing more, I decided to use a smaller jump ring. Now it's really important that when you get to this step, you look at where the length will be so you know where to cut it, okay? And you're going to repeat that for this one. So I don't want it to be too long, so I'm going to cut it about here. See? So that I can have enough to make a hook. And there. Now what I'm going to do is make sure that it's facing the proper way, and I'm going to use my round nose pliers, and I'm going to make another hook, because it's going to loop and it's going to go into my earrings. Grab the earrings, put it through the center loop. Okay, put it through the center loop, go to the back, take your round nose pliers, and make sure you close it, and close it good. Because the thinner the gauge wire, the more it's delicate, and then you want to give it like a tiny little crimp in the bottom so it's totally closed. And that's it. Okay, so now that I've gone ahead and attached this to my earrings, I want you to be able to see this, but I know when I go too close it gets blurry and I don't want to make that mistake. So I hope you're getting a good view. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a hook at the end of the wire. You're going to get a jump ring and attach it to the leaf charm of your choice and then to the bottom. Now we're going to repeat the process with the beads. Alright, now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hold it up to here to make sure that I'm going to have the same length. Make your loop. Okay, don't close it. Make sure you're getting the front of your earrings. Put it through the middle one. Alright, and then go ahead and give it a good closing. So make sure they're the same length and everything is good and tight before you proceed to the next steps. So I want it to about the middle of the leaf. This is a head pin, or you could do that with your wire. So you take the head pin and just, if you want to use an end piece like that, or a round piece, or a bead cap, you can do that. I'm going to hold it up because see, that's where I want it. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to trim it to about there, because I do have to get it and make a hook. And then you're going to take your round nose pliers and you're going to start to make a hook at as close to the tip as possible, and then kind of curve it inwards. Now this part's got to go through the chain, so you don't want to close it yet. And like I said, my eyesight isn't the best, so these holes are really fine. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take the end of this hook and you want to put the chain through it. And now you want to close that and make sure it's secure. Just take your round nose pliers and go ahead and secure those. And I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've gone ahead and attached my chain to the wire with the beads. So see, now if you're happy with the way that's sitting, you're going to repeat the process for the other side and for the other two earrings, just by simply either using your wire and making a closed end, or using a head pin which already has a closed end, and then making a hook, if you can see, and then putting it through the wire. So now I'm going to go ahead and repeat that process for you by taking another head pin. And like I said, if you don't have a head pin, go ahead and use the wire like I showed you. Make the little tiny loop and hook and then smash it down a little so it's not even there. But you could leave a hook and then leave something dangle off of it. That's totally up to you, but this is a head pin. I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and I'll be right back to show you the end result and see if I'm happy with that. So once you've attached both sides and you've seen that let me lift that up a little higher, and you've seen that they're at the same exact length, it's going to take a little messing with. You want to probably cut your head pins or your wire at the same time and make the same size loops so when you attach them. So you want them to hang at the same length. Okay, and you want the other pair to be the same way, so make sure you keep checking. And that's if you're happy with it when you're finished. And finish this. And like I said, it's good to have a variety of different ideas for the same earring. So even though they're the same earring piece, they're not the same look. So these are the two together, the amethyst one. And like I said, for this pair, you're using the same process, except you need a hook at the end, and you can either, your preference, whether you want to just make a hook and loop the leaf or make a hook and use a jump ring. Other than that, it's really simple, it's really easy, and it's really fast. Okay, I've gone and finished them for you, and I had to make sure that they were attached just right, so they're the same length. Let me zoom in, and there you go. The hardest part of the whole project is basically making sure everything sits the same way and the same length. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and don't forget to look under the video in the description box for the link to the BB Crafts website, as well as all the links to all the products that I use from BB Crafts in this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that bell so you get future notifications of my upcoming videos with more tutorials using products from bbcrafts.com, as well as my other videos on my channel. So don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.